This is a timeless reading, so feel free to revisit this anytime that you feel called to. However, I will say at the time of recording this, the Lionsgate portal is coming up quite soon. I believe the energy starts drawing in prior to that, but I'm just mentioning this because I actually feel that that's going to be a significant time for you, and it feels like it's so I'm excuse me on this, bless me on this, but I'm not, what's the word? I'm not proficient in astrology, but they're showing me the full moon in Aries. So I don't know when that is. Maybe that's next year. But they're saying from now, the Lionsgate portal until the full moon in Aries, because they're saying that the Lionsgate portal is falling onto a full moon. So they're showing a full moon, and then they're saying Aries, and they're saying this is a significant time from then until the full moon in Aries. If we're going into Aries season and that's only like a day or like a few hours or like then it's an extremely impactful moment, and pay attention to that particular time or that day, right? There's going to be something very important that comes through for you. I'm seeing a false reality. They're showing me false reality, okay? Because I actually have a card. I have the deck right here, and there's a card in here, and I want to say it's full moon in Aries. Okay, so I split it, and they said, have faith in your dreams. This is the significant message that they're trying to get through. So just anchor that at the top of what I'm saying is have faith in your dreams, okay? So there's a false reality that is here. Full moon in Aries. A fiery climax approaches. Why was I saying that? No, wrong card. Wrong card. Sorry, wrong deck. It's here. Let's see. Here. The Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Okay, so because they're showing me this card, right? This is what they're showing me, this card. And it's Mars. They're saying Mars energy, but this is, and then when I said Mars energy, I said, but it's August. So it's not whatever is associated with Mars. But then they said Saturn, like Saturn's energy is associated with Mars, and I think what they're trying to point to is tarot. I'm all over the place. What are you trying to say? Because they're showing me the devil, but that's Capricorn, which I know that. So they're saying just go with it. Okay. Okay. So we have Mars energy, right? But they're saying but not Mars energy. It's August energy, and then they're showing how the false reality is this looks like it's supposed to be Mars, but it's actually Arizona. So there's where that false reality is because there's like, in Arizona, they have a lot of like practice places for landing on terrestrial places, right? Not just people from organizations from the United States. Everyone comes from all around, and they're showing this because it's like they're showing this as like other people practicing something that feels like a false reality. I keep saying false reality, but there's a better explanation for this in the sense that, explain to me in another word, guardian angels. They're saying, okay, so they're not being honest. It's a corruption. And the corruption is because they're practicing something and then presenting it outwardly as what it's not, right? So, for example, let's say that they said that they landed on the moon and they have evidence of landing on the moon, but in truth, they were in Arizona. So So that's on a projection on the your outer world of something happening outside of your self, outside of you. That's not you, right? We're not talking about you here. We're not talking about inner reflection of something that's a false reality or that you're presenting something as not. This is something that's happening on the outside world. And how this functions in your reading and why this is being brought up is, I don't know. So let's keep going and see if it comes up, or maybe you already know. Yeah? Praying angels. What's the message for today? Earth pulsing, but I heard earth rising. Earth pulsing, earth rising, and it's earth rising in you. So earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Empathetic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. Called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Portal doors are opening. You decide. Rewards, wild card. Now, it's interesting that I put this at the top naturally, because this is okay, this is emphasizing all of the rest of these cards. Okay, now I'm seeing this as an airport terminal. She's walking through an airport terminal. That could be a literal message for you. However, I'm also seeing it in the sense that all these are inviting you to walk through a portal to a world that is unseen, but then I hear unresolved. There's something unresolved in the unseen. This is giving me the energy of a spiritual warrior, someone who battles dark energy through the service of goodness, through the service of self-sovereignty, energetic sovereignty, and self-awareness and self-respect. And it's also because I am sovereign energetically, because I am self-respecting, because I am aware and intellectualizing the spiritual aspects without getting wrapped up into, I heard karma, then it slipped into dharma, and then it slipped into it's showing me books. So it's showing me like the Bible, it's showing me the Kabbalah, it's showing me, all of these religions. But the reason it's showing me these religions is because it's a representative of all structures, right? And it's like I'm aware of the all within the message that these structures are truly wanting to explain or to project. In their words, they have the energy, right? And it feels more closely to, I mentioned this before, and every time I try and say it on here, it slips my mind. It's a religion. And I guess I'm not supposed to say it because it shouldn't keep slipping my mind. But it's the basis of it is that the light is within. But then when I say that, it it explodes. It like cannot really be contained within, because the fluidity of our spirit is transcending within. There is no within, there is no without, there is no outside, there is no inside. It all is. And so you're being encouraged to continue down this spiritual, enlightened, and aware path. And then they split the message and they show it, they move me to the side, and they're saying, how does this apply in practical terms? Because there are going to be people that are watching this that don't particularly resonate on that level, or even if they do, it's functioning on a plane separate from, and it's like separate, they're separating it in quotations because it's not truly separate, but how you are operating in the real world is reflecting in something that's happening spiritually that you may not be observing. You're not focusing on that. So they're showing this in the real world, and they're putting you back into this airport, this terminal, and it's saying to transport yourself through another vessel, right? In order to get to this other location, there's a vehicle that's transferring you to this other location in a way that you aren't able to do just by yourself. You cannot fly without using this vehicle to take you there. And so it's using vehicles and instruments that cannot operate in the way that a human can. It's using these mechanical things in order to get you to the proficiency of what you're seeking. And it's important too, with the sovereignty coming through and the slowing down and time and nature and stepping up, this is all giving a little bit more detail to the overall message, which is staying true to who you are, not getting caught up. Let's say, for example, this is incorporating AI. Well, there are things that you can use AI for, but you don't want it to completely rob you of your creativity. You don't want it to completely rob you of your gifts. You don't want to completely rob you of your mind, right? It'll shrink your brain. So using it appropriately will keep you sovereign and it'll keep you true to you, right? And I'm seeing this in examples of, okay, they're shortening it to examples, like personal examples, like for recipes. Oftentimes I'll use it to do quick conversions and maybe do some adjusting because I don't have the proper ingredients. But I have used it to create new recipes. And that's a place where I may have lost my sovereignty, because there's that creative aspect that I could have used in order to create something completely different, right? Instead of asking AI to do it for me. Another example is that I've read about, I haven't quite done this, is emails, right? Summarizing an email and responding back to it, when in fact this is a connection that you can bridge with a person, and you can also continue to evolve as far as like practicing, communication with others, right? Things like that. You see what I'm saying? So being called in soul gifts and training, it's time to step up. this is your guardian angels confirming for you, and there's a feeling of acceptance of like step up. This is your time to step up. This is your time to walk through this portal and fight for what you believe in, work towards what you believe in, and don't take no for an answer. You feel this is important to you, so follow through with that feeling. Behave as if it was important to you and continue to do that. But again, I am seeing there is a dark aspect connected to this from the outside. No matter which way you look at it, no matter which way. So let's say that the example I have with the AI is connected to your workplace. There's something dark going on there. I don't know what it's not telling me exactly. They're just showing me demons. I'm not seeing specific demons. I'm not seeing any of that. I'm feeling demonic energy on the outside of you. And so another layer of protection in here. And as I was saying that, I heard the word spell, like spell work. They want to say spell work. So there's a layer of wanting to place you in a disempowered state. And I'm not seeing if this is a direct attack from another person, if this is strictly spiritual speaking and nothing translated through a specific person. It might come through in people who allow it to come through, right? So like cranky people, or something that would, let's say like, with the work example, you're very meticulous with your emails, and the people are responding to you and misspelling things and not really reading what you're saying and sending you back things that are irrelevant, and you're like getting very annoyed. And that would be an example of how this energy is trying to come in other ways to affect you, because that would put you in a disempowered state, because you're feeling irritated or angry, distracted with these thoughts, and instead of just saying okay, let it go, whatever, and continuing this path, this it is a path, but I'm saying direct, you have a firm direction of what you're trying to achieve here. So in that sense, if you were staying firm on that, you wouldn't let that bother you. You'd be like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it, that kind of thing. You'll prioritize differently. So just be aware of this. Be very aware. And I'm hearing either learn to read other people's character, discern, have discernment with that, and really trust your intuition. So they go back to AI. Let's say the email situation, and let's say you're receiving AI emails and you're aware of this, right? Feel the other person. Are they why are they using this? How is their energy? Read their energy. Right? This person could be sending it because there's an insecurity, or they feel rushed, or they're masking something about themselves. So be wary, be aware, and that's another way of this energetic sovereignty, is because you're tuning in rather than tuning out. Tuning out would be responding back with that same level of them, right? Responding back with AI. Because it's easy, because whatever. That's not being, like, that's lazy. I don't know. There's another word for it that's not as harsh, but don't do that. If in this example, I'm saying maybe it's appropriate for some things, but stay focused on what I'm saying. Okay. It's almost like you have your hands dirty in a way, like you've had your hand in the pie. That's what I'm hearing. It's like you've had your hand in the pie. It's like you benefited in some way from this kind of weird energy that I'm picking up on, like that dark thing, right? So it's like kind of going back to a company. It's like somehow you've benefited from it. But you have to wash your hands clean of it. You have to distance yourself or divide yourself from this, or continue to, because I don't feel like you are of it, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there was this appropriate, it was either appropriate or it was before you were aware that you were engaged with it. So now it's not necessarily about disengaging completely. It's about that sovereignty. And then you think, like with an empath, it's absorbing the other energies. If that's not your, either way, it's not your role to absorb and behave in that way. You're either absorbing it to filter it out into a positive energy, or you are meant to reject completely, you're still rejecting it, but you're just becoming the vessel to cleanse it and release it. But you're not absorbing it. It's absorbing into your clean energy, right? It's not becoming, you are not becoming that energy. So, yeah. You're very close to achieving your goal. Have faith in your dreams. A new start is coming. A win-win outcome is forecast. Need I say more? It's all good. And the intent behind these with the win-win forecast is they're telling me that what I just told you, you're already doing. So they're saying that it's a win-win either way because you're doing it. And even if, for example, there might be someone out there who's like, I intend to, I will, you're going to. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just how it is. That's who you are. It is what it is. And I wanted to split the deck on tarot. And we have the Six of Wands. It's in reverse. And it's this feeling of like destiny. Destiny, it's interesting because it's like destiny being stopped. Like the image that they're giving me is on this card, have faith in your dreams, and then the bees, and then pesticides being sprayed in the air and destroying the bee colony. And it's like, well, that the win-win occurrence here is it's like I was being lied to. Like, you were the one who like worked at the spray company. You weren't spraying it. They were telling you the different components to use in order to create something, you know, that's supposed to be helping people. So you're like, oh yeah, cool, perfect, you know, and I'm doing what, you know, my skill set, da 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 da. And then it just so happens you're out on the field and you see that happen, and it's a win-win. It's a blessing for you because you say, wow, if I hadn't seen that, then I wouldn't have known. Yeah? So you put a stop to their destiny. But it's like, they put destiny kind of in quotations because it's more of a worldly term in this sense. It's like, oh, this is destined. This is going to be amazing. This is great, right? It's like this strong pursuit or this strong power or corporation, right? So you're putting a stop to something that seemed beyond your control. Because in turn, you're actually the core, the root, the foundation for this, and you are capable of taking them down, whether by force, you know, by a lawsuit, you know, for example, like that, or if it's by stepping away, or it's by bringing more awareness. You know, you could be a whistleblower, right? It's like certain things like that. Oh, well, because I'm on the inside and I was lied to, I was manipulated, I now have a power and an authority that not many people do because I did this. Unknowingly, I was misled in some way. So that's kind of the example of like getting your hand in the pie, because you were benefiting because obviously, you know, in this example, you were getting paid and you were getting experience, whatever. So it ends up, I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles, and I'm seeing this as someone who is precise, aware, attuned, and not to be messed with. And it's steady and it's strong, foundational individual that knows more than other people even understand. Because this Queen of Pentacles is not someone who hides behind quietness. Or, you know, it's like, I know what I want and I know what I know, and it's you who might underestimate me, but I make no qualms about who I am and what I know and my belief system, right? So it's all good. You're very close to achieving your goal. Have faith in it. A new start is coming. There's going to be some adjustments here, some complete changes in some of this, and it's a win-win outcome for you. So that's my reading, and I'll talk to you on my next video. Bye.